I get asked a lot, did you really get a grade 9 in the exam? And the answer is yes, I got one in June and one in November. Why on earth did I take the exam and why did I do it twice? So the main reason I take the exam is AQA stitch students up in the reading paper, well, also the writing questions, but mainly the reading paper. And my mission is to try and help students get top grades no matter the way the examiners think. Now that's important because Ofqual, who are like the exam board police, have done an investigation into, they find is that any question marked by an examiner has a 50% chance of getting the wrong grade. The wrong grade. And because 75% of students have to do the AQA, it's basically an AQA problem. And it works like this. The examiners only have to change a mark if they think the original mark was unreasonable and they think 1 or 2 grades difference from a senior examiner mark is reasonable. Now, 1 or 2 grades is just a few marks on a reading question because there aren't that many marks, are there? There's 8 or 12 or 16 or 20. And so when you ask for a remark, they basically tell you to get lost. They're just going to agree those marks. The only time they change, and I know this because I've done it twice, is the writing mark. So even though my writing was top notch and easily grade 9, I just asked for a remark anyway. And 2 out of my 4 writing questions, because I did the paper twice, went up at least 1 grade. So now you can see how awful the AQA exam is. And that is why I needed a method that would force the examiner not to give me a 50% chance of the wrong grade for every reading question. Now that is how I came up with points make prizes. And that means the marks you get are exactly equal to the number of valid explanations you write. Now, where did I get this idea from? I read every single answer that AQA has ever published, and they've all been marked by a senior AQA examiner. And when I read them, I worked out the number of valid explanations, and just about every time it matched exactly. Sometimes you needed 1 extra valid explanation to get the mark, but the pattern was 100% clear. Now here is the juicy bit. I needed this juicy bit because the mark scheme doesn't say anything about the number of explanations. It sounds like I've just made this rubbish up. But here's the genius of my November exam. My mark was so high, so off the scale, that it was in the top 0.01%. So when I asked for a remark, that was money down the drain because I couldn't get higher than a grade 9. I would lose my money. I would also lose my money when I appealed against the remark. But I did it anyway because I wanted to get inside the examiner's head. And this is what the examiner said. When I gave them my grade 9 answers and said, why isn't it full marks then? You know, what's wrong with it? They came back with a series of statements which basically said this. This explanation is not a valid interpretation. This explanation can't be justified because it's not valid. Now remember, I'd already got the grade 9, so it wasn't as though they were saying, Mr. Salis, you're stupid. What they were saying is, our secret code is that we look at the explanations, and if we think the explanation isn't valid, we don't count it. So obviously, they are unconsciously counting the others. That is the way a senior examiner thinks. Are the explanations valid? And that was worth over £300 of my money because it proves that is exactly why points make prizes is necessary. It proves that's exactly how the senior examiners think, and it proves that will get you a grade 9 provided you write enough valid explanations. This is gold dust to me. I hope you found it useful. If you didn't, there'll be more videos. Maybe you'll like them.